Hello and welcome back to another edition of Talking Trade. I'm Ian Coxhead at the University of Wisconsin.
And I'm Sandi Siegel, president of MEJ, and it's my pleasure today to welcome our guest, Katy Sinnott. Katy is the vice president of global trade and investment at Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation for I think about the past 7 years now. And I've always been intrigued, Katy, with your previous background on your time in China as a consultant and running your own business and salon services. So, and a different conversation, would love to explore that someday as well. But we're really happy to have you here today to talk about WEDC and all the great work you do for us here in Wisconsin, and hopefully enlighten our listeners a little bit on some of the resources here available to them.
Great, thank you.
So Katy, for those of our listeners who are not familiar with WEDC, could you just say a little bit about what it is and what it does?
Sure. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is the lead economic development entity in the state of Wisconsin. We have a variety of services where we help grow the economy, all the way from community development, Main Street programs, to entrepreneurship and innovation, to my team, which works on global trade and investment.
And on the global trade and investment front, bring us up to date. It's been crazy times the last couple of years. What are the big numbers in terms of Wisconsin's international trade at the moment, both exports and imports?
Sure. When we look at the last 10 months for Wisconsin exports, they're up 21% compared to the same period in 2020. So if you look at our top 3 export destinations being Canada, Mexico, and China, Canada's exports are up 20%. This top trading partner actually reversed the declines that we've seen in the past 2 years and posted a 20% increase. So the full year 2021 exports to Canada are on track to surpass the 7 billion total seen in 2018. So we're really happy to see that recovery in Canada. When you look at Mexico, we're up by 23%. Again, a really nice increase considering what has happened with COVID. Pharmaceuticals and prepared vegetables shipped to Mexico have increased by huge numbers, 3,000% up for pharmaceuticals, and over 350% for the prepared vegetables. And China, which has seen declines over the past few years, also is up by 13%. Medical and scientific equipment saw the greatest increase in China, up by over 32% to almost $350 billion. So really great increases that we've seen. And when we look at our top 3 export products, which are industrial machinery, medical and scientific instruments, and electrical machinery, all of these categories have increased by between 6 and 10%. So good news.
Yeah, I can see that the manufacturing base of the state is doing very well in a time when demand and supply of goods is going up, even though services are going down. That's terrific news.
Katy, share with us, to explain a little bit more about the export acceleration programs and how people can take advantage of that. I know we've seen some great benefits and have referred many of our export clients to those programs. So maybe you can explain those a little bit more and how they work.
I would love to do that. And I've been in this role, as you say, for 7 years. And I'm still surprised when I meet folks who haven't heard of our program. So this is a really nice opportunity to talk about them again. We have 4 core programs that are designed for export acceleration for Wisconsin companies. We always start off with our Export Tech program. This is an export accelerator that will help a company design an export strategy. It's designed for your C-suite. You can have your CEO, COO, CFO all attend. And what you come out with after 3 8-hour sessions over a 3-month time period is your export strategy, your targeted list of countries, your budget for exporting, and a whole marketing plan to get you there. So this is an incredibly powerful program where companies on average after 12 months see about almost $1 million of impact on their top line. So this is really our flagship program to help exporters become better at that. The second opportunity that we have are trade ventures. We lead 6 trade ventures every year, always to Mexico, Canada, and China. And then we pick 3 additional trade ventures based upon the needs of our Export Tech graduates. Of course, COVID has made it harder for us. We quickly pivoted to virtual trade ventures. We did it within 30 days that we switched our trade ventures over to virtual in 2020, and they have been successful. We're going to take a lot of the learnings from that and keep that so that we can do the best of both. We want to have that virtual bit before we get in country, but we still do want to get in country because that is still very powerful to meet people face to face. Thirdly, we have our trade representative network. So we have about 16 representatives that Wisconsin contracts with around the world, representing 96 countries. So almost any destination you're considering going to, we have trade representatives in country who can help you. They could do market assessments, partner searches. They could even help you with one-off problems. We've had people who have had laws change while their product is on the water going to a country. And we've actually been able to use our trade representative network to find support for that company. So when it landed in that country, they actually could offload their equipment and send it to their buyer rather than having it stuck in all of that red tape. Lastly, we have our International Market Access Grant. So this is a grant program designed for all of those folks who have used Export Tech, gone on trade ventures, used our trade representative network, and now they want to do more. They want to take some of this funds to build on their budget so they could reduce their time frame from maybe 3 years to 2 years. So you could use this grant program for attendance at trade shows. Right now, we're having people focus on websites, translation of material, things that are easy to do when travel is difficult. And those grants are between $10,000 to $25,000. We gate them because we believe that Export Tech graduates are better prepared for for exporting. So we provide up to $25,000 to Export Tech grads over 6 years. And for non-Export Tech grads, we provide up to $10,000 over 3 years, as we would like to encourage companies to attend Export Tech.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and I refer a lot of people to those programs, and Export Tech in particular. I've just seen great success. Everybody comes out with all energized and with a plan, as you say, which I think, the getting started part is often the most challenging. So really is a great resource for Wisconsin. I'm glad you touched on trade programs. I was going to ask you about that. I understand there's going to be a live trade program. Or is that still tentative as things go up and down and seem to change daily?
Well, in 2022, our first trade venture is to Mexico. That one will remain virtual,
okay.
Based upon the advice of our trade representative. But Canada in March will be in person. So we're really excited about that. And we do think, and as does our trade representative, that we will be going ahead. And then after that, we'll have Taiwan and South Korea. Mm-hmm. And then we will have Germany and Austria. All 3 of those will be in person.
Fabulous. And I've been on some of those missions. There's nothing like the face-to-face, and obviously, and even the colleagues that you meet along the way that, have common goals and challenges. So really worthwhile.
I think that's interesting that you bring that up, because we actually see Wisconsin companies meeting each other on these trade ventures.
Yes.
And I've seen Wisconsin companies find partners actually on the trade venture. So that's really interesting. And another thing worth noting about the trade ventures is that all companies need to do is be prepared to pitch their company. We reserve the hotels. We provide all of the in-country transportation, as well as interpretation if it is required. we believe strongly that interpretation at a highly professional level has to be provided. Even if the individual speaks the language as a second language, it's important to have that interpreter there, because if you're unable to communicate with a potential partner, you're simply wasting your and their time. And also those interpreters often interpret more than the language. They often say, well, yes, in this case doesn't mean yes. It means maybe, or I'm thinking about it, or I hear what you're saying and I want to know more. So I think that's really important too.
It's invaluable, absolutely. Afraid we're running out of time, Katy. I'd love to invite you back. There's so much that, you know, WEDC offers, and again, great resource for Wisconsin.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Katy.